Nina, you're so cute.
And perfect. Everything's perfect.
There I am. Well, you know what we could do?
Confuse everybody. Hi, everybody. Welcome.
What's up?
Yes, here. Time to sing that. That's what friends are for.
That's what. How's the song go?
In good times, in bad times, I'll be on your side forever.
There we go.
This is great.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's get back to normal.
We're
Abby normal.
Now I go back to my normal self.
There we go. There we go. All right. Well, welcome everybody to my channel. As we do, we have to have fun, right? We have to have some fun to break up the monotony of the crazy of this world right now.
Friday.
Yes, and happy Friday. And as you can see, I have Danny Shay and Nina from Nine's Corner.
Sheila.
And then there's
because we've been doing this for so long now, and we can literally say we were together years ago, not months ago or weeks ago. We've been together for years. So when we get together, it's like literally like old friends saying, "Hi, welcome back. Hi." Do you know what I mean?
And it's been way too long. And I was blaming it all on me. And I took a little bit of offense to it. Big, but I'll get over it.
Who's to blame? Who's to blame, Sheila? Who's always to blame?
I refrain from public controversy.
Thank you.
In the comments, please feel free to find out who's to blame. If it's Daniel,
I do not take sides.
I'm going to say 9.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are getting together today because, of course, it's been too long. And yes, I think it was in maybe April or May of 2019 was our first video, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I can look back, but I do believe because it was during the summer, and then we had our first Halloween little ditty thing.
That was so much fun. Yeah.
We're gonna have to dress up again and have a ball doing the Halloween thingamajigger again. I mean, I even bought so many cards for it to happen again. So there you have that. And so anyways, I want to catch up. I always do the catch up thing. So Nina, so what is it that you've been doing on your channel? Give us some updates. Who have you been collaborating with so people can go find that?
I did do a collaboration with Marina from Heart Center Tarot, which I know that you did a collaboration with her, and she's a sweetheart. She's just salt of the earth, down to earth. She's like somebody you can go and have a chat with. So she was lovely. She's out of Calgary, so I'm actually hoping to go down and meet with her and some of her friends that are into the same thing, because I've never been in a room where there's other people that do what I do and can understand it, or even, because it's always been such a private, embarrassing thing. I mean, even now, like when I went to the dentist, she was like, "What do you do?" And I was like, because I didn't know if I should say or not, because some people are like, "Oh, that's cool." And then other people are like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
And you can tell something changes, as though I grew a word on my nose or something. So other than that, just putting out the videos, enjoying my time, enjoying the summer, having to take care of Charlie because he's home all summer. So it's hard to kind of, because you got to get that witchy time. So a lot of times it's like 1 a.m. and I'm like, yes, darling, it's time to say hello. So I'm kind of all over the place. And other than, I'm going to recommend this to everybody, go swimming. Oh my, I've had back problems. I've got, large badunkas, so I can't do running and jogging and all that kind of stuff. So I literally started swimming, and it is just, I feel so much better about my life. Like the depression has lessened because it just feels weightless. Now, when I get out of the water, the weight comes back on. It's like, oh, geez, carry it around. But there isn't. It kind of goes like, imagine this must be what like birth and death is like, that you just lose all this weight off you. And you just feel like, it's like, is that all there is? Is that all there is? Like, whatever. Just keep going, because no matter what we do, this bullshit's going to happen. We're going to be here in 20 years' time. God bless us, hopefully. And we'll all be here going, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Just fill in the name, and there's going to be another a-hole that we're going to have to be trying to read about and get rid of. And it's just, it's the pattern. So that's how I am. I just took up 10 minutes. So let's go. Daniel, what's new? What's happening? How's everything? And then we'll get to Sheila.
Have you gone scuba diving?
Oh, nice.
No, have you?
Never.
Oh, you definitely need to look into that, because if you're that crazy about swimming, it's going to send you. Oh my God. Because I did that for 30, 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So definitely look into that. It's like you're going to be in heaven. So me, I've been doing some collabs, overloading, and I do that a lot. I don't know, but I end up over collaborating, and then I back away a little bit. Never with you guys, though. Never with you guys. But I am doing something really neat that this is really exciting for me. Kim and I are doing a galactic meditation series where since you guys are all in space outfits, but Kim's doing 3 sessions and I'm doing 3 sessions, and we're calling it Galactic Foundations and Galactic Travels. So we just set up the meditation where we travel in space, and we have a group of us that just does a little meditation out in space. I did one with a shamanic journeying last month, and that worked out really, really well. And so now there's so much ET and galactic beings and interdimensional beings that are being talked about and being shown to us that people are finding it really exciting. So getting a lot of. What's that?
It's so weird that you guys would be doing that. And Sheila and I are starting the same thing next week. How is that possible, Sheila?
What are we doing next week?
She's lost. And he was saying about how he's going to start a new series. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. Sheila and I are starting the same thing next week. It was a joke. It just went like this. Sorry, guys. She wasn't listening.
I was in the galactic meditation. I was enjoying I was just thinking about it, like being up on the space. Which star am I going to sit on? You know what I mean?
And
I love meditation.
The crazy thing about that is that when people come out of the meditation, they have very similar images. It's like, oh yeah, I was in a green crystal city. Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. And we don't set it up like you're going to be in a green. There's no
magic behind it where you're setting it up like a magic trick.
Yeah.
That sounds fantastic.
It's cool.
And didn't you just do a collaboration with Lynn G again?
I did, yes.
Yes, that was a couple of days ago also. And you've just finished or started, or you're in the middle of doing classes with people. I'm doing shamanic, isn't it? What is it that you were doing with classes? Because the rumors are flooding everybody else. Everybody's talking about it with the people that are in there.
everybody's talking about. No,
Yeah.
it's yeah, I did the shamanic journey class, which it was a very brief intro on shamanic tools, and we all access the same information out there, but it's how we get to there that is different. So shamanic journeying, you use a drum, you use a whistle, you use a rattle to get you into that altered state. Some people go to get you into that altered state. Nina does that. And then sometimes other people just jump in and they're in that altered state. So
I tend to be in that altered state on a regular. I have to be forced to come out.
So how do you do that? How do you force yourself? What tools do you use to come back to earth, Sheila?
What tools do I use? It's usually another human being calling my name.
Okay.
I'm being incredibly honest about that.
Nan, mom.
This is true. Grandma, mom. Yeah, those work real well. But you know, that happens too. Or my dogs help me a lot. My dogs will come up and say hi, and they will visit me a lot throughout the day. I have one dog. She's my new one. She's not here right now, but she goes outside. She does a routine all day long. She goes out, she'd go eat something, drink something, go outside, run around, come upstairs and make sure that I am here. She comes up right in my face and she'll bring me right back out of it. It's really bizarre. I'm learning a lot about how the reason why I've been called spacey all my life. It sucked. I thought they were just being so mean and cruel, and what they were doing is describing what has been happening to me most of my life. If I've been up in the space in the Akashic records and downloading information and stuff like that. But anyhow,
and what have you been doing, Sheila?
What have I been doing? I've been doing a few collaborations. I've been doing all of the races. I asked everybody who you want me to do versus who, the races,
I love doing them.
The political races. So I've been trying to get through. There's a lot of them. I didn't realize that I had so many of them, but I've been trying to do that. I do like the 6-month spread on each person in each race and see who has the better cards. Some of them are really disappointing. Some of them, there's not really much answer to them, but they've been fun. And so I've been doing a lot of that, and I wanted to kind of see what that's doing. And I think my last video was, I was doing some psychic viewing, which really turned out really well too, I thought. So
yeah.
And now I'm here with you guys and doing that. Yeah. So, and then
more collaborations.
Yeah.
And on my bucket list of things, I want to do a live by myself. I want to get up some morning and just go, good morning, and whoever's there, let them be there and whatever they ask. Because you know how like you want to challenge yourself sometimes and meet those fears, because that's something that's really been bugging me for like the last 2 years, that I've never done it on my own. I've always done it with others. I've never, and I'm too afraid. It's like it's become this mountain now that I need to overcome.
So thank you guys for being here. This makes my day on a Friday for sure. Let's do some readings. I'm sure there's somebody in the comments right about now going, when are you going to start reading?
I know.
You know how they are.
Sometimes we just gotta reconnect. Reconnect.
Yeah.
So what I have here is Merrick Garland versus Idaho abortion laws. Do you guys remember reading about that?
Mm-hmm.
Idaho. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can pull that up. Medical community speaks out on particular issues they see with the new abortion laws. And so I wanted to kind of read just out of a blind read and see what it is they're seeing, if anybody can pick up on that, what's the outcome of that going to be, and if he's going to be able to do anything about it.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to plead ignorance here because I'm not 100% sure what we're talking about. Merrick Garland
opened up an investigation in Idaho about their abortion laws.
Okay.
So I was trying to read abortion ban in Idaho faces first U.S. legal challenges since Roe. So
Okay.
they've been asked to look at, they're all inclusive. Nobody can get an abortion for no reason, because they've had a lot of people, you know, I don't know if this is, they're having problems with women and getting health care at all for anything. I was trying to read here. The United States sued, oh, good God, where'd you go? The United States sued Idaho on Tuesday to block a state law that is said to impose a near absolute ban on abortion, marking the first legal challenge to state abortion laws since the Supreme Court June overturned the landmark Roe v. Wade. The lawsuit filed is a federal court in a federal court in Idaho, says that state's abortion ban violates an Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act, a federal law that compels hospitals receiving federal funds to provide emergency care act. So a while back, the DOJ, Merrick Garland, got up and says there's a federal law on the books saying that you will perform medical, provide medical emergency care for women that are pregnant, whether it is if that baby's, whatever her life is in danger, they have to remove the baby or whatever that is. And the Idaho's saying, no, we don't. And so now the investigation. So I just wanted to look into that and see what's going on and how that's working out.
Let's just start off with a really light question.
Yeah, just easy.
Nothing too heavy.
Well,
oh my God.
Well, this is what, this in this country, that is a light question. You know what I mean?
God.
I know it's so thick. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's like slugging through mud. Here we go. Oh.
Will I go?
Go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I start off with the 7 of Cups. So I'm just seeing there's a lot of pushback and there's lots of ideas out there and everybody's like, well, this should be this and life starts here and this is what this is and that's what that is. I feel like there's going to be a cap on it somehow and it's going to cause a lot of stress. So I just get the feeling that whatever the decision's going to be, it's not going to make everybody happy. It's sort of like, this is the rule and that's that. And it's just going to cause a lot of stress. That's the feeling I'm getting from the cards right now, unfortunately. Daniel, my darling?
Yeah. Well, I got the Death card in the center and it's being covered with the King of Pentacles and I take that to be Trump's ideas and his MAGA people. I also got the Queen of Cups at the base.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, but the final outcome. So, I do have the Joe Biden card in the external position of this. I think they're going to have some success, the DOJ, with the 9 of Cups. However, I got the 10 of Wands and the 7 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords in the outcome, and these two are clarifiers. So it's not giving me a clear yes or no. It's what Nina was saying, that something good's gonna happen, but it's not gonna be enough. It's a real challenge. It's not gonna make a lot of people happy. Yeah. Yeah.
Sheila, down?
Well, I did get the working harder in the Wheel of Fortune. That's the DOJ looking into it, and people are very happy about that. However, they do see the strife and the betrayal of their state that they used to love. Now they do see that is the devil working at it, and they're walking away from the Republican Party. That was something I was wondering if that was going to happen, was that the women in that they're not going to choose the Republican Party. They think that they got a win, but in all actuality, they ended up with a loss, because the women are just not going to put up with it. And they used to, in this talking about, this is the weirdest part, is that they loved the Republican Party. They loved, everything that was going on until you started, making sure that women's lives are not important to you.
Yeah.
So that's also going to happen. Now, when I'm talking about the DOJ going in and doing the investigation, I don't see a whole heck of a lot. I see the 9 of Pentacles getting, down to earth. I also see the 3 of Cups, which they are happy about some sort of ruling, some sort of something that they can do. Sorry, not down to earth, abundance. Down to earth there, the abundance of it. So the DOJ is going to get something out of this. They're going to lay down a law of some sort with the Idaho, but it doesn't look like it's going to stagnation on it.
Yeah.
It may not happen too soon. So anyways,
doesn't it feel like there's so much that happens that you don't even have time to remember the crappy thing they did yesterday, because there's another crappy thing today. And if you actually went back and made a list of what's happened in the last 2 weeks, and you're like, hold on, women's rights were just kind of like, bloop, and then everybody just went on. It's like, hold on, no. Why isn't there like mass people on the streets? Like, it just kind of went with a thud.
That's what they like to do, is throw the confusion constantly.
It is. It's bizarre out there right now, because every day is a new thing, and every newscast, urgent Trump news, urgent, gotta know. And it's like, it's the same thing you were talking about for the last 2 weeks. It's pissing me off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, we know, but we're still like tick tock, waiting. Somebody do something.
TikTok is coming. I mean, we're coming down to it, but it's still not going to be tomorrow, and it's still not going to be what a lot of people want to see happen. Something will happen that's going to take him out. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be too little? He always slips out of things, so I don't know. But
it's weird, because you got to separate Donald Trump from the presidency. So they have to protect that which is the United States, the symbol of the United States, the presidency. But at the same time, you need to go after Donald Trump. And even if they go after Donald Trump, he's not going to be going into prison. He can't go where normal people are. Do you know what I mean? So there'll have to be a special situation where he's locked down somewhere, whatever. But that will lead us to our next question.
Yep, go for it.
What is going to happen if, and more likely when, they put the cuffs on Donald Trump and or family? So we're looking at Jared, Donald Jr., Eric, Ivanka, and, keep going down, Giuliani and whatnot. What happens when a big fish finally gets fried? What happens in the United States? What happens with the Magda? Are we going to see civil war break out because of Donald Trump? Or
So let's see what's going to happen if and when Trump is being held accountable and they actually indict him.
When?
I don't know if they'll ever get cuffs on that man, but they will indict.
When it happens.
You guys have to get on TikTok. I'm telling you, that's where the Papa News is. Seconds after something happened or anything like that, or whatever is being talked about heavily, is on TikTok. You don't have to do anything other than just create an account and go and search for political creators.
Yeah. My sister's into it, but I just can't, because then I'm always like, I like to give the story a little time to
percolate.
Yes, because the facts have to come out.
Yeah.
So I did a quick throw on a different question. Is Trump going to end up in handcuffs? Are we going to see him in handcuffs? Which I think would be like, that would be kind of hard to take. The cards that came out, I got the 5 of Cups. Someone's going to be really sad. And the last card was the 8 of Swords, which is kind of a lot of restriction. Yeah, he could end up in handcuffs. If I was whoever was going to handcuff him, I would be thinking twice about the reaction. Because I think MAGA world, which is the next question, would go absolutely nuts. And maybe there's a better way than not handcuffs, but there's a good chance that he will.
Interesting.
With this.
Do you want to go, or will I go?
Go ahead, Nina.
Okay. I don't want you to.
No, go.
Okay. So I asked about Trump going in handcuffs. I got the 7 of Cups. So I think, yes, he is going to be in handcuffs, but it's not going to be the traditional handcuffs that we're thinking of. It's going to be like, they're going to be like, okay, this is the president or the ex-president of the United States. He's done things that are beyond the pale, that you can't let anybody get away and be above the law, because that would be worse than putting him in cuffs. To not let him be responsible would have worse repercussions for the United States than if they put him in cuffs. So I think there's actually like, what do we do with him? Do we, buckle him down into a certain space? Because it's going to be like, there's the special, there's where Trump is. Like, you know what I mean? It's not going to be in what have you. If that happens, however, and when it happens, very interestingly, I'm surprised by my cards, so I'm just going with the cards. I got the 6 of Swords, which is like the Republicans that would be with Trump would kind of go, yeah, I'm just going to go with DeSantis now. I'm just going to go with whatever theme of Trump is there. I think that the Republicans are going to fall back more on their Republican ways. But I think that there's this split in the party where you have your party of 7 years ago, and then you have 2022. Like, let's get into the new. So I think that's where the challenge is. But guys, 2 of Cups for the future. So I feel as though put Trump somewhere. I don't care. I could tell you a few places. I really could tell you a few places to put the man. Put him away. You will see the Republican Party move on, and it will actually be cathartic for both. Democrats will be just like, oh, blessed Lord, and praise Jesus. And the Republicans will finally be like, okay, so we can't, because right now they're too afraid to move, that if Trump says something, they're in trouble at their party. Remove Trump. We got a party back. Mm-hmm. So I am shocked. I think that if they do this will be for the betterment of, I was expecting like riots and all this crap. And believe me, there's going to be the psychos that don't know different, but it's not going to be this major drama that we're thinking. It could actually just be the solution. Rip the Band-Aid off, get rid of Trump. That's honest to God how it is.
I agree with that. Danny, did you already go?
I didn't.
Go for it.
I just did the.
You did the Trump, whether Trump would be, yes, darling.
So I got that something is going to come out, and so I have the Knave of Chalices. So there's going to be some surprising news. It's going to surprise us a little bit, but her feet are in water. So this surprise is actually going to be calming energy, because we're going to need the calming energy, because I got the Death card following it with the Sun card right next to it. So there's a lot of illumination and a lot of new stuff coming. Happy, good. Someone is in a very tight space. And to me, this looks like a jail cell. It's going to happen really quick. It's going to be big news that's just going to go bam. And I think that's what Nina was saying as well. And I didn't get the Republican Party moving on in this, but I got them looking at it from a different point of view. So some of the Republicans are going to be kind of hung upside down, and the other ones are going to say, we need to take a different point of view, a different look at this from not the MAGA angle anymore. So I'm in agreement with what you were saying in different words.
In daddy eyes. It's daddy eyes.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that Nina and I got almost the same cards,
Right.
pretty much. I actually did
Behind the scenes, Sheila's going like this.
Nah, I don't have enough ambition to do stuff like that. Everybody's always asking me, how come you're so honest? Says I don't have the ambition to lie.
It takes a lot of work.
A lot of work to remember to do this. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, so walking into this, I think I got the best of both of yous because I got the backstabbing. Okay, so this was really shocking when I was coming into the whole situation. I did a Celtic cross, the backstabbing. It's almost like the MAGA base are realizing the backstabbing, or he's going to do something that backstabs his people because they're going to feel a little hurt by his actions or whatever it is, and it could be just literally that he took the documents, could be that, because they're going to finally realize the surface, the lying, the cheating, the deceit and all that, which is really weird. Hierophant, it's almost like I always laugh when I see mega people sit there and start praying and please heal this country, but they're saying heal this country and bring back Trump, and I say you heal this country. I'm like, oh, thanks, because the Hierophant does show up when you guys are praying. You guys are praying. God does not see Trump as the leader. He see if when they believe in God, it's universal. The healing of this country may not look the way they think it should, and the Hierophant has been coming up a lot. Like there's a whole bunch of, there's more than just all church and all denominations are praying for the healing of this country. And where it did show up, I have the King of Pentacles getting it down to earth, that steady progress of getting it to a better thing. And this came up inverted. I'm like, oh yeah, well there's the infighting, right? But it came up inverted. And if you look at the thing inverted, it says losing the battle, being your own worst enemy, giving up and overwhelmed. I thought that describes what Nina was talking about. Is like they're going to be pissed. There's going to be tiny little spurts of it, but they're overwhelmed. They are politically exhausted as much as we are. And I think that, and then they have the doing the groundwork, and then they have the lovers, right? We got to redo the party. We got to do the groundwork, redo this. This is probably to Satan. And then walking away. I also got the delusion, and my final card was the Fool, the new beginnings. They're realizing that they were a fool, that they don't have to do this anymore, and we have to move on. So I too did not get a huge big battle. I got more of apathy. So
it's going to be interesting because Trump's not going to be able to go because he's going to be jailed. Let's just go with this train of thought, okay?
Yep.
So then we're going to have Trump in jail. So then we're looking at DeSantis.
Satan, yep.
Satan, Liz Cheney,
Possibly.
because she's possibly gearing up. She may be this time or maybe next time. Guarantee you're going to have Booger Boy come out. Booger Boy.
Who is that?
Cruz.
Oh, Ted Cruz?
Ted Cruz. Remember there was that big thing he was talking and the booger was moving its way down his nose into his mouth.
That was so gross. I can't watch it.
Poor Danny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Have I told you guys how much I love reading with you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that brings me to another question. Let's literally confront that question. Will Trump be redacted from this country?
Thank God you didn't say, let's read on Ted Cruz's boogers.
I can't do that.
Thank
Well,
you.
let's see.
I would rather read on Ted Cruz's booger than Ted Cruz.
True that.
How did the booger feel to be on live television? It was really scary. That's why I tried to run.
Well, if we do the booger, we need to do the fly that landed on Pence's head. All right, so let's see if Trump will be redacted.
Okay.
Better way of saying it, right?
Yeah.
Redacted?
Yeah.
Removed.
He won't be allowed to go for president.
Removed, restricted, out of the limelight.
Basically, what's going to happen with Trump? What's happening? Where's he leading?
Oh. Uh-oh.
I like Danny's cards already.
Yeah.
This is for Trump. Interesting. Who wants to go?
Whoever's ready.
I'll go since I had my first one. So the very first card I got is the King of Swords. And in this deck, the reason I said ooh is because this king, this legal king, has somebody's severed head in his hand. And I went, oh, so Mr. Trump, however, off with his head. And it's being challenged by the moon card. Something's coming out, which is what we've been talking about. New information coming out of the water that is going to make some of the people a little crazy. However, at the base, I got the Ten of Swords. His son, the illumination is behind him. Either the sun, good times, is behind him, or the illumination of all this information is flooding forward. I see that we're going to have a new beginning, that he's going to have a new beginning, but it's going to be upside down. His new beginning is upside down. And the final outcome is we're going to get a new emperor, which anyway, along with a new empress, a new idea with this new birth of something, and it's the Star of Hope as a clarifier. So I think, I just don't see him, I don't see him around. I see something new coming with hope, and that's this, a new emperor. So I think he's just done.
What'd you get, Nina?
Okay, so in the past, I've got him looking at all the deeds. What has he got done? This is probably him hiding some of the papers in Mar-a-Lago and whatnot, because I truly believe, according to the cards, that we're looking at somebody who has documents, and it's not just governmental documents. We're talking about Epstein documents. We're talking about anything that this man wanted to know about, he could find out about. So we could be talking about classified documents about UFOs. We could be talking about JFK, because I mean, I know if I became president, one of the first things I'd be doing is doing the gossip and going, okay, what happened to JFK? What happened here? You know what I mean? Like trying to find out what. So I think that is why Trump has not been tarred and feathered before now, because I think that's probably one of the biggest questions we all kind of go, why is this Teflon Don able to say I can shoot anybody and blah, 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 blah. It's because he knows about things that the United States has done. They know about United States partnerships that the United States doesn't want to be known on a world stage. That's why this man is dangerous, because underneath it all, he's got the devil. He's got everybody that, and with the devil, it's sort of like, you're not controlled, but you are, but it takes a lot. I mean, you've got to be willing to go to jail. You've got to be willing to say, listen, I've been a scumbag and let me tell you what I've done. Because I think that Trump's tentacles are not just political. I think they go into the realm of abuse, female abuse, especially when it comes to females around the world, females to deal with the pageants and stuff that he did. I think that he's incredibly worried. I think this is probably the closest that Donald Trump has come to, padoom. So I think he is wearing diapers at this time. I think that we've got the Empress. There's going to be a postponement here. There's going to be a time. And Trump is literally rallying in a strange way. He's going to get something offered to him that he's not happy about. I do see him trying to walk away. I'm glad that there's been gossip about his passports being taken, because yes, he would get on a plane to get away from all of this. He is under a lot of stress. But my last card is I got the King of Cups. I'm not happy about getting this as my last card because I'm worried about the current administration's oversight on this, because basically they can't touch it. They can't be involved with any of this and be seen as doing anything against the Republicans. But I do think it's going to come down to the Democrats. They're going to say, listen, Trump is going to be handcuffed. What do we do with him? This is national security, because this man knows stuff that we don't want him talking. So I think it's so integral what's actually happening, because he's such a farce. He's such a clown that it's not even comical. It's just sort of like, everybody's just like, what is, but when you're actually close to it, I think the people that are closest on the ground to them, there's so much more than even the public deserves to see, because I think that he could destroy America in one sentence by saying, hey, I know, and fill in the blank. I mean, it could crush. So I think people don't realize the importance of Donald Trump is not because of him being smart or intelligent. It's because what did he know and find out in that 4 years? Because Lindsey Graham and all of them, even Democrats to a certain point, won't go past a certain line with Donald Trump, because I think there's stuff that they know about everybody, every party, every person, the list. And then you're also involving Russia and Epstein and the Russia connection there. Russia's connected with China. And I guarantee you that Saudis are so involved that it would be scary. I think they're involved so much more than we have any idea. And I don't mean just now, I mean going back years, like 20 years, 30 years. I think that there's been a Saudi Chinese reckoning, and they purposely put drugs out to destroy the countries. They're purposely putting out diseases. They're purposely poking at the bear of racism. They're doing everything to destroy from within. That's my feeling, that this is a worldwide. Sorry, I'm sorry, my cards just brought me there. I apologize, but it's like everything was coming up. The picture was getting grander and bigger. So I had to kind of go with the flow. So I'll just stop right there. You go. Sorry, guys. That was just.
That's all right.
I felt that.
The Saudi has learned a lot about us because they've been in war with us for 20 years.
Yeah.
You don't gain perspective without that. But
That's true.
I drew 4 cards and I took it out of my haunted house deck. And my Ace of Pentacles in the haunted house deck is that planting of the seed for the material world. If you're feeling, it's like a stability. It's like planting the seed of stability, planting the grounding and stuff like that, as the pentacles usually represent. So I thought, oh, that's really interesting. We're planting the seed. Like, if you don't do this, we are never going to heal if you don't hold this man accountable. And then I got the, sir, it's time to go. Endings, death, and here's the key to lock him up.
I like those cards.
Yeah. So I thought, all right, so that's the seed that they need to sow. That's the seed they need to plant, is to hold this man. And I love how Merrick Garland says, we hold people accountable without fear or favor. I'm really hoping that he means that, because he cannot be afraid of the American people by holding this man. But these cards tell me that they're sowing the seed to make sure that this happens. So, because if not, truthfully, this whole country cannot heal. The Republicans who've been manipulated for so many years can't heal. The Democrats who've been the victim of all of this, really, they cannot heal. And unless and until that man absolutely goes away, of course, we're going to have another pop up, a little weed, but we at least know what to do now. At least they know the ending. They can see now the ending to their actions when they start down the road of Trump, that they will be held accountable. So that's something also. Did everybody read on that already? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When Nina was talking, I was thinking, I was going, I think Trump has to have something really tangible on some of these people, either from Russia or something. Hit the secrets that he may know, because he doesn't read, he just gets it from these the latest greatest, the Sidney Powell's, the Kraken attorney, Rudy Giuliani. So it's hard to believe what he says, because he changes his mind a lot depending on who the last person he talked to was. So I really think that there's got to be something tangible that he's got on the Lindsey Grahams and the Ted Cruzes for them to flip so much.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
So can I pull a question?
Yep, please do.
So I want to read on, since we're on this bent here. So I want to look into Arizona a little bit, because Carrie Lake, that was the big one that got in there.
Yeah.
And she is just a wacky, crazy, she's just so out there. There's another guy, Finchman, I think his name is, and he's running for Secretary of State. He's an overdressed drugstore cowboy. So huge election deniers. And if they get in, and there's a lot of states now that have these election deniers on the ballot, and if they get in these battleground states, then it's going to be a harder time for when Trump, when he goes down, that they will, they'll have a bigger voice if they get in. So I want to look at these big election deniers as a general group and just get a sense of how, if what's going to happen with these guys. Are people, because I truly think that both sides are getting really tired of the rhetoric and the fighting, and these guys are going to keep the fight going. And
it's so interesting because you see Carrie Lake, she's so put together, she's beautiful, she's a great representation for women until she opens her mouth, and then you're just like, it doesn't match. What she's saying does not match, like, because she's such a Trumpster. It's like it floors me.
It's all these TV personalities that don't have any experience in running, and so they're running on a soap opera type platform. And that's not what our country's already run on a soap opera type platform, but we shouldn't enhance it.
It is terrible though, because you say that, and that's literally what I get up and watch during the day is what's happening in the news. I'm not looking, I don't sit down and watch a good show, or that's not it's just what happened today. What have I missed out? You go for a day somewhere, all of a sudden you come back and it's like 15 things have happened and you're out of the loop. It takes nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. And that's a sad thing, because people used to watch Days of Our Lives. Now we're watching Days of the US.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
I miss Hope and Bo, Marlene. Come on, if you mention Days, you watch Days, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. And you know the guy who plays John, and he does that smell the fart acting. Marlena, what's going on here? People who watch Days of Our Lives are going to know what I'm talking about. Sorry, I got to concentrate. What are going to happen with these people?
What's going to happen with
Not a good.
I actually came up with something terrible for them, but good for us.
Go for it.
I'll go first. So I got the choices. The choices, like they have to make a decision. Do they cheat? Do they not cheat? Do they cheat? And then they have the devil over top of them, right? Like there's some evil little shits out there. And then we have the delusion, throwing out the delusion and then manifesting it, right? Okay, so this is them. But when they do, they make a decision that they get held to the fire. They get held to the fire. They get in trouble. So the laws, I think, are going to stiffen. Yes, the DOJ has a lot of tentacles out there and doing investigations and holding these people who, the fake electors and all of that, they're going to hold them. So they're also being shown that they can and will be charged. And they start to become a little fearful of the whole situation. And so I think that is good for us, as they think that they can. They're getting in there and they're, wanting to do that because they're little evil people, but they get held to the fire. They get in trouble. So that's what I got.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go, or Danny, you gonna go?
No, you can go. You can go.
Okay, because so I basically said, for all these people, Carrie Lake being a representation, how are they going to progress in this time of Trump? That was how I asked the question. Right. So first out, I got the Queen of Swords. So this represents the Carrie Lakes. They're the ones that are talking out of both sides of their faces. But see, that's the important thing. They talk out of both sides of their faces. So right now, when Trump is of benefit to them, for them to say it, they know that it works with their numbers, they'll say it. But guess what? Temperance comes by. Temperance balances them out a little bit. They say, you know what? You're going to see stuff happening with Trump and Trump Co. that you're going to have to cut down on your rhetoric, but it's still going to be the same because the core of the people are the same. They, you've got your Proud Boys, the white supremacists. You've got all these people. They're not changing just because Donald Trump gets in trouble. Underneath it all, we do see the loss, but with the loss, there's still those cups that are remaining. So they're saying, look, Trump had something. There's a core there that we can take. Let's take that away from him, but let's let go of the Trump stuff that didn't work for us. Believe me, there is talk, there is planning. There are people are saying, okay, what is it, post Trump and whatever it is. So after Trump, so they're literally, trying to plan what's going to happen after Trump. Unfortunately, I do see the Republican Party, maybe once this temperance happens, there's a little bit more balancing out of the waters. They'll slide back a little bit. I think the pressure that they're going to get over Roe versus Wade and all this stuff is going to push them back to go, hey, we've got to get back to our family ideals. We're going to get back to putting family first. Unfortunately, for me, when I see the star come up, because I was like, okay, what's going to be the overall? For me, as soon as I pull this card, I pictured a gun. Immediately, just got a gun. And so I think that this is going to be, the Republicans are going to continue on to be the Republican way, but I think there's going to be more gun violence. And that's going to be the coming issue with the Republican Party, is going to be about their guns and the use of guns, the socialization of guns, and the fact that guns, that there's an underlay here of trying to cause that kind of demise. So it's like their hand is so tight on the gun that they're not willing to give it up. So I do feel they're going to come together. There's going to be a temperance. You're not going to see the Republican Party just disappear. But I do think they're going to have, like, all the stuff that they hold dear. That's what they're going to hold dear. Weird that I would get a gun, because it's like, that's going to be their calling card in the future. We don't give up our guns. They do it now, but it's even going to become after Trump. That's going to be their back to the Republican Party and back to that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Here's what I got yet. So the Arizona, the election deniers in the big swing states, what's going to happen with them? I did get the Three of Wands, them planning things, they're thinking, they're reviewing things, working hard, but I got the Sun card, and I think that when I pulled the Sun card, I see the Sword of Truth right there, followed by the King of Swords. So I'm thinking that there's going to be some legal issues that come up with them. And as far as the Republican Party, they're going to be changing their outlook with the Knave of Wands. They're going to look at this and they're going to have to reassess where they are, because what they're looking at in the future with this card, it's really barren. There's nothing there. There's a few mountains, but that's it. A few challenges. And the final card I got is the Knave of Swords. So I think they're going to come out and go from the King of Swords with all this rhetoric and tap it down a little bit and come up with a new way of reformulating the party. And I think it goes back to what Nina was saying with, what do we really stand for? And in the beginning, because Carrie Lake goes, we just stabbed John McCain's Republican Party.
Yeah.
And I hate it. It drives me nuts that they're using this violent rhetoric towards political giants. And whether you believed John McCain or not, his policy, he was a giant. I truly think he helped our country. He may have hurt it in some ways as well. However, the political rhetoric, I think, really needs to stop. The Republicans used to stand for business, family values, which is all askew right now. And there was something else besides Donald Trump.
Law and order.
Law and order.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, where in the hell did that go? But anyway, so they're coming up with a new way to look at this. So I think that
all right, so here's a different I think this will be probably the last question, because the video is quite long.
Okay.
Long videos to edit suck. It's just to let
Sorry,
you know.
darling.
No. There's no apologies. However, I do want to read. I want to read for the collective of the Democratic Party. How well are we fighting this battle?
good.
That's a scary question.
Yep.
And then maybe we could end on a question, just say like advice or energy that we can give out, because it's always nice to.
Well,
Yes.
we can do that. What we'll do is we'll do this one. How well are we fighting the battle? And then our last card will be what we, like our last card from the angels, what is it that we can do to do better
Yeah.
as a collective?
I enjoy reading with you guys, by the way.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun again. Yay. It's been so long.
It has. Okay, Dems, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you saying? Hmm. Interesting.
I'll go ahead and go first, and then whoever wants to go next after me is fine. I mean, the Democrats party and the people who, you know, the country itself. I do believe, and I've always believed, that the heart of this country is Democratic. I always will believe that, and the reason why is because Democrats at this point in time, especially in 2022, are for the betterment of the people, not for all of the people who are up here getting rich. I do have the heartbreak. Like, we have been just heartbroken over a lot of that. And we need liberation. We need renewal. We know what we need to get done. We also have the Seven of Wands defending, and yeah, we did get to the point where we could have just walked away and allowed the Republicans do what you want to do, whatever, right? Because that can happen in the Democratic Party, where we just kind of give up. But that's not what happened. We have steady progress. That steady progress is also the effort, never give up, that putting in the effort, right? So never give up. We have the Ace of Swords. Expose. That's what we're doing, is allowing the nature of exposure to work. And it says, and in fast movement, that's the reason why everything's coming in succession. We have to get this done before the 2020 midterms, okay? So they are on a fast track. That's the reason why we're getting hit so much. We're looking for assistance. We're looking for the assistance of the voters, seeing the big picture. Again, another exposure card, seeing the big picture. And then we have the Queen of Wands, the determined woman. And I knew that that was probably going to be the result of the Democratic, this is the determined women. And we've been saying this for how many years, that there's going to be women energy in the determined woman to come and show up and save this country, really. And it is going to be within the women that we will not go back to what they want us to go back to. So that's what I got.
Good job.
All right. Want me to go, Nina?
Go ahead, Lovey.
I'm gonna go. I got a little different read, and I think where I was going with this, and so my question was, what do we need to know as we go into this, as we go in dealing with all the struggles and the news cycles about this? And I also got I pulled the Emperor, and it was being challenged by the defending of oneself. So there's still going to be, with the Seven of Wands, there's still going to be a lot of, we're going to be defending ourselves a lot with this. I have the Ace of Pentacles, which is some new beginning, a new project kind of coming out of nowhere. In the past, we have all the illusion, delusion. I think we need to cut through that and pick one cup. And it's kind of what we were talking about. There's so much news cycle that we can get overblown in and carried away with. Pick one thing and kind of stick on that and ride that for a while and focus on that to change that. I have Temperance at the very top of the reading. this is overshadowing everything. There's a balance that is going to happen. So trust in that balance. I got the 10 of Pentacles in the potential near future. And when I pulled this, a lot of times I'll take this as, well, I think what this is sticking with your family, sticking with your tribe, your community. It's easy to go outside, like what we were talking about a little before, and trying to change somebody's opinion. I don't think anybody's opinion or idea is ready to be changed yet. So I feel like this is still a stay within your community and build on that. We do have a lot of worry coming up. We do have a lot of work coming up, and we are going to feel this roller coaster ride of some sadness, but that sadness is going to lead to a new transition with the death card. And I just wanted to pull a clarification on the death, just to make sure that, is it the Democratic Party is dying, or is it a new rebirth with all of this? And it's a rebirth with the Magician card. We get to make what we want. We get to make magic if we choose to. So we have to put our intentions and keep working and keep fighting to make sure that we don't get the negative energies, that we stay positive as we move forward with this tumultuous time that we're in. So it's still a huge roller coaster for the next couple of years. So just keep working at it. That's what I'm getting.
Yep. Interestingly enough, I got 7 cups in the past, which is the same as Danny. I think there's a problem here in the Democratic Party, because underneath it, I got infighting. This is not swords. This is wands. So everybody has their own idea. So you got, what's her name?
AOC.
Oh, AOC, thank you. She's got some really socialistic ideas that are beyond the Democrat, but she's part of the Democratic Party. So I think that because there's so many fractions that are Democratic, but they're all kind of like on different levels, like on the spectrum, they all hit different. So it's like, guys, stop your infighting, stop saying, well, I am correct, and realize that the person next to you is a Democrat. They're more balanced than anything else that you got going on out there. So even if you're a progressive, you kind of got to get with the program. So I think that there's too much of details and infighting and going, well, this is going to be my no, why don't you come together as a complete set and everybody support everybody? So you know how the Republicans can get there and go, well, they all carry the line. You don't hear that about the Dems, because they don't carry each other. They're easy to walk away or not say anything. It's like, no, y'all got to be on the same page and then play from that page and start taking from the Republican playbook, because you're lost in the past. The Dems need to take care of Donald Trump, get rid of Donald Trump. January 6th committee has been clearly, telling the story, but they can't physically do anything. It needs to go to another DOJ to get that happening. So there's a lot of on top of it, there's lots of information happening. There's lots of stuff happening, but the Dems are kind of stuck. They're stuck, just as much as the Republicans are stuck on Trump. Guess what? The record's skipping here too, because it's just, let go of the past.
Yeah.
Whatever is going to happen in November, there's going to be a feeling of rushing in for the Dems. So whatever happens, good, bad, or indifferent, during the November elections is going to start a fire under the Democrats. But then again, my ending card, I was disappointed. I got the 6 of Cups. So it's like more of the same. We're just it's like, until they figure out, like, you guys need to focus and move out from there. It's like it's frustrating because the ideas are there, the ability's there, everybody wants to do the right thing. They just can't get on the same freaking page. And as time goes by, there's still too much planted in the past. It's time to get, there's times you got to let go of the past, let go of that weight so you can move on. So as much as the Republican Party is going to be going through a massive change, so are the Democrats. It's just that theirs is this internal, almost like you got to start having confidence, not just say what you're saying, believe what you say and put it out there. But I do think whatever's going to happen in November is going to cause them to have more momentum. So hopefully going into the 2024 presidential election, we're going to be seeing some momentum after the 2022 November elections. It's not going to happen before that, because right now, I mean, when you've got AOC and them coming out and not supporting Joe Biden when his numbers are so bad, shame on you. Even if you're right, shame on you, because you're doing a disservice to your party. But that's not really your party, because you're a progressive. So we could go into all, like, you know what I mean? So the Dem, yeah.
But I think that it's not so much the progressives, because they came in line with Joe Biden's rescue plan. It was Sinema and Manchin that were the ones that were really holding it up. So it's, I agree that when you're really progressive, and you have those viewpoints, and when you're really conservative, we still have to blend it together to make it work. And what your cards was saying was we're still bickering, but I see the bickering more with Manchin and Sinema, and I just just drives me nuts with that.
Are they Democrats anyway? Really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They pulled a fast one on Mr. McConnell about the PACT Act, and then I mean, that was enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it's the thing is that, like, they got hit up with, they got caught acting exactly of who they are. That fist bump wasn't fixed by a Democrat and make sure that they did that. They did that themselves. Yeah. The fist bump was just the cherry on top of how you guys act and what you guys do.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's go ahead and last card of the day for the collective, and my last card it's called Victory. My last card of Victory. Wish choices that bring public recognition and success, promotion, award, and scholarship. So I got the woman there standing there with her flag and her wands of victory. So that's what I got.
Cool. My card is protection. Call back your power, cut the cords, soul retrieval. And cut the cord to me always is turn off the TV, stop listening to the news, but just protect yourself, we don't need to have all this negative bombardment coming at us all the time. So just keep our protection up.
Perfect. And I will land on the moon. So there's a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of unforeseen things that are happening. But the part about this that is good is that we don't understand it. There's certain things that happen in this life that we can't explain, nor are we supposed to understand it. Just know that given time, that the change will be something that will be of benefit to not just you, but to the universe, because we're talking universally here. So a lot of times this is indicating there's a law of balance, in the universe, there's wins and losses. You have to have night to have day, and so on and so forth. So wherever you're landing, if you're in a good place or in a bad place, don't forget that the universe has this balancing out of every situation. So if you're stressed about the politics of life, it's going to balance out. If you're worried about finances, if there's something really personal going on, realize you can't be responsible for the changes that are happening. You can only run with them and do what's best. So self-care, taking care of yourself, being selfish is not a bad word. So take care of yourself and realize that you don't know everything. You can't see everything, but that's okay. That's life. Move on and just keep going. So that would be my advice.
There you
Good
go.
advice. Yay.
So everybody went, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I forget Danny, and I don't mean to.
I know. I know.
Unforgettable.
Terrible.
That's
All right,
what we
everyone.
are.
Well, thank you so much. This has been great.
Thank
This was a
you.
nice, perfect Friday video. So if you've made it this far, we surely appreciate that. Go follow Danny Shay. Go follow Nine's Corner. It's worth your while. And
Yes, it is. Go follow Dan. Go
Why
follow
not?
Sheila. She's fantastic. She's
Yeah.
fantastic, darlings.
and I'm gonna hold you to doing a Halloween party with you guys.
Yeah.
100%.
Maybe we'll
there.
invite Lori.
Okay, I'm
See if
there.
we'll see if she wants to join us in our Halloween costume party. That's if somebody else hasn't already picked her away for that day.
Back her up.
Yeah, Lori, if you're watching, say yes. All right, everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, lovies.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.